about to be published new book, No Apology, The Case for American Greatness. Former Republican governor of Massachusetts maps out what he says is wrong with America, that it's heading downhill, and he tells you how it can change course. And we wondered if his plan includes a presidential run. Please welcome Governor Mitt Romney.
Sherry. Thank you, Joy.
Nice
How are you, Barbara? Thank you.
So, Governor, do you think all these screaming people came here to see you today?
No, I recognize they're here for Robert Pattinson. I think the audience is wondering what I'm doing on the show right now, to tell you the truth. But I'm honored to be here.
But you told me that you've seen Twilight, that you like.
I sure have, yeah. I read the books, too. Stephanie Meyer is an extraordinary author. She and I went to the same college, but I didn't do quite so well in English as she did.
Well, you've had other virtues. We had introduced Robert Pattinson's family, and your very nice family is here.
Yeah.
Your beautiful wife.
Ann and I have been married for 40 years,
Right.
and we have... That's right. We have our son Tag sitting next to her, and he was our first son, born on our first anniversary. We have 5 boys, 5 daughters-in-law, 14 grandchildren. There are 26 of us. You know, the census is going to have to come up with a special form for Romneys, I'm afraid. So good to have him here.
It's a very nice family.
Thank you.
The book, No Apology.
Yeah.
One of the things you've said in it, because you do talk about the mistakes that you feel Barack Obama has made, but one of the things you said is that he should not have gone overseas and apologized and tried to talk to some of the Muslim nations. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with trying to start fresh and reach out?
Oh, there's no harm in going out and talking to other people. That's always important. But he went out and said America has been dismissive and divisive, that America has been arrogant, that we haven't listened to others. And he actually said on Arabic TV that America has dictated to other nations. Look, America has not dictated to other nations. We have freed other nations from dictators. We have nothing to apologize for in terms of America's great contribution to the world and the great balance sheet of our mistakes and our contributions. We've helped lift billions of people out of poverty with our free enterprise beliefs, and we've also helped free people and bring liberty to the world. The fighting men and women of America have done extraordinary things, and I would not go across the world, as he did, apologizing for America. Let's stand up for America and recognize greatness where it is.
But not everybody would agree that, well, we agree with part of that, you know, but not everybody would agree that we liberated Iraq. Not everybody agrees with that.
No,
a lot of people think we imposed our will on Iraq.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we have to have both sides of this.
Yeah. But I think we can all agree that we liberated France. And when I had the chance...
Oh, you mean World War II?
Yes. Well, you know,
Oh,
I was alive right after
yet.
that.
But
America's contributions to the world span centuries, and during the last century were extraordinary. I mean, Shimon Peres said America is unique in the history of the world for the sacrifice in human life that we've given for our own liberty and for the liberty of others. And so I don't think we need to apologize. We also apologize to ourselves, by the way. We Americans spend a lot of time apologizing for our terrible schools, for the fact that we don't have an energy independence strategy, that America is building huge debts and not becoming
Isn't it better to admit your flaws than to gloat over the successes and say, look, we're not doing as well as we'd like to be?
What I'd like to do is make sure we take on the challenges that we face head on, and that we stop talking about problems and talking about our mistakes and start saying, how are we going to fix these things?
Right.
Because unless we change course, and I'm absolutely convinced of this, unless America changes course, we're going to find ourselves being eclipsed by other nations. And ours is the nation that defends freedom and prosperity for ourselves and for others in the world. We must not allow others to pass us by.
You're a presidential candidate. You may well be one again. If you were president now and you could change 3 things, because the book has many different things, from healthcare suggestions to infrastructure. 3 things. You're president of the United States now. What would you do?
Well, I'd change the president, the Congress, and the Senate. But you meant...
But
let me talk.
Wait a few years, you can run again.
But specifically, with regards to the economy, I'd say we are going to do absolutely everything we can to bring the budget in balance, to make sure we don't keep adding to the national debt.
Why didn't wait a minute. Why didn't the Republicans say that during the Bush administration?
Well, by the way, Yeah, many,
Had a great fiscal.
Wait, let him do his three
Yeah,
things.
many
and
of us,
do them quickly,
many
then
of us
we can move.
have,
This ain't
many of us
easy
have,
here.
and I'm not saying that it's all Democrats. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Washington politicians have let debts rise and rise and rise, spending rise and rise, and now we're at a point where we're going to pass on to our kids a burden which is so extraordinary.
three
We could
things.
kill the
You know
American
we're
dream.
gonna have
So
to-
that's one. Number two, we're going to have to take on the debt that's part of our entitlement liabilities. We need to make Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid sustainable so we don't put another bigger debt on our people. And then if I could only have one more, I want to deal with energy. I want to, but putting that aside, schools. Our schools are failing our kids. It's inexcusable. And
What happened to No Child Left Behind? That was a success or not?
No Child Left Behind was a good step. You got to measure how the kids are doing, how the schools are doing, but we got to do a lot more. Great schools start with great teachers. I want to
we got a
hire.
good Secretary of Education.
I want to hire from the top third of our schools, and I want to pay our starting teachers higher salaries.
That's the key.
I agree with the incentive base, too, for teachers in some respect. Do you, what about Scott Brown? Obviously, there was a bit of a revolution people were talking about in Massachusetts coming from there. Do you see him as maybe even potential running mate down the road, or what's the biggest difference between you and Scott Brown?
Well, he and I are a lot alike
Yeah.
in some respects. We're from the same state. We both married above ourselves, and we have great families. And
Both hunky.
yeah, you say that to all the guys. She's been sitting next to Robert Pattinson too long.
No, Governor, she's doing a make good now.
You're not going to be.
I'll just make sure that you recognize, I think Scott, there were two parts to his success. One was his own ability to campaign and connect with the people of his state. But number two, he said, I will be the 41st senator. He said, we're going to stop what we're seeing in Washington, the excessive spending, the excessive borrowing, and Obamacare, which the American people are saying we don't want.
Right.
So that was Scott's message, and it succeeded in Massachusetts, of all places. That really says something.
But the
Well, you guys
majority
also,
want
you got
healthcare
a great
reform,
health plan in
Governor.
Massachusetts.
You are right.
Massachusetts.
Thank you.
I was going to say, if you're not going to say if you're running for president, then who do you want to see running for president?
Oh, there are lots of good people out there. They're all the familiar names, and you know all the familiar names, but there's some people don't know so well. This new guy that got elected in Virginia as governor, Bob McDonnell, we're going to get a chance to see him a good deal. He could be a real strong contender
I
down
want
the
to
road.
ask about you in the seconds we have left.
Yeah.
You say you're going to now try to elect conservative candidates in 2010. You are not ruling out the possibility of Mitt Romney as a presidential candidate, yes or no?
No, I'm keeping the door open.
Okay, that's a yes.
That's something we'll think about down the road after 2010. But this is a year we've really got to do a better job in electing people who will rein in the excessive growth of government. And that's what I think you'll see happen in November.
Governor, if you can take the four of us on today, then I think you can probably take on Congress and who knows what else. You were very kind to come on with us, and we appreciate your being with us, Governor.
Thanks,
Mitt
Barbara.
Romney.
And I do believe you're hungry. I'm sorry.
He doesn't say that to everyone. Mitt Romney's new book, The Hunk's new book, is available in stores now. I'm sure, Ann, you agree, right? Everybody in our audience is going home with a copy. We'll be right back.